The meeting will come to order, please. The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been satisfied. A copy of the annual meeting was sent to the press, the Down Beach Current, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, on the municipal website, and filed in the office of the city municipal clerk. Would you please turn off all cell phones, electronic equipment, stand for the flag salute. Attention, salute. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor Becker.
Here.
Commissioner Amadeo.
Here.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Here.
We have the pleasant experience coming up of swearing in a new police officer. Commissioner?
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to bring Rick Francesco forward, and with your mom and dad, I'm sure you designated them to hold the Bible for you. And for the public, I would just like to mention that Ricky grew up here in Margate and attended Margate Public Schools, went on to college, earned 50 credits at LaSalle University in criminal justice, and most recently, amongst other things, he was a Margate lifeguard for 7 years, has spent a little over a year in the Sheriff's Department, and through his efforts and his wanting to be a Margate City police officer in achieving #1 in the civil service certification and spending a year in the Sheriff's Department has now brought him to the city of Margate. So we're proud to be able to swear Ricky in today for the job that he's wanted pretty much most of his youth and his short adult time here on earth, right?
Yes, sir.
So do we have a Bible?
I, Ricky Francesco,
Do solemnly and sincerely that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will perform
and discharge all the duties
and discharge all the duties
of the Office of Law Enforcement Officer
of the Office of Law Enforcement Officer
in the City of Margate
in the City of Margate
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Great job.
Lisa, did you check that date? Informational, the GIF presentation has been postponed till August the 5th, so we'll go right to department head reports. Frank, why don't you start?
We had a very busy 4th of July weekend. had a very busy 4th of July weekend. The beaches were definitely packed. It took a lot for us to clean up. It was the biggest weekend we've ever experienced in Public Works when it came to hauling trash. We hauled about 50 dump truck loads of just trash on 4th of July, the day itself. We actually used less water than in previous years. We usually judge how busy our holiday is by the amount of water. We're usually up around 4 million gallons of water. This year we used about 3.6 million. So we were down, which for whatever reason, I guess the people were really on the beach heavy. This past weekend, which beach stock, we helped them set up and break it down. We were very busy there. It was a very good turnout and unbelievable weather. Our beaches are in great shape, and we're working hard on them every morning, and they're very big this time of year when they're usually smaller. That's about all we have.
Frank, can I ask a question?
Sure.
And for the commissioners too, related to the 4th of July and that specific day, would it make sense for us to look into what it would cost to have whoever, Johnny on the spot, locate urinals at like every other block, not on the beach, say off the beach? I heard a lot of complaints that that the beaches were so crowded that day and people stay all night for the fireworks. So I'm thinking that maybe we could look into, if you guys think it makes sense, porta potties just at the street ends for that one day. They could bring them on whatever day it is and then take them away the next day. I don't know if somebody could do that or would be willing to do it, but maybe we could look into what that would cost.
Well, I can tell you right now, the company we do deal with would definitely do it, and I personally think it's a good idea.
Okay.
You'll look into that, Frank? You'll look into that, the
Yes.
cost? Okay.
We've got almost a full year, so we got good planning this time.
Yeah.
Good. While I'm on, I want to say thank you very much to everybody that was involved, the police, the fire, the Margate mothers. It was just a great day and a great event. I can't tell you how many compliments we got. So thanks everybody that was involved.
Chief?
Mayor, Commissioners, also very busy for the fire department and beach patrol on those weekends. I'm happy to say that things were pretty uneventful. Everything went very well. The fireworks shoot went extremely well, very smoothly. It was a combined effort of Public Works, police, fire presence. I'm very happy with that, and we're going to be having a wrap-up meeting on that probably in the next couple weeks. And also, beach stock went very well for us. Also, not many medical calls. Things went well on our end, but I know also it's a very busy day for all the departments. So things are good in our departments. I'd also like to just make a quick note that there's a nice article by Nanette Galloway on the purchase of the new Quint fire truck on page 6 of the Current that came out today. If you have any questions on that, I'd be glad to answer them for you. Thanks.
Thank you, Chief. Lisa?
Hello, good afternoon. I've provided to the mayor and the commissioners my 6-month finance status report. It gives our current cash on hand. Our total cash for all funds is $8,020,167, so we have a good cash position currently. And our budget status stands overall at right around 51%, which is basically where you want to be for halfway through the year. If you have any questions or would like additional detail, please let me know, and I'll continue to monitor our budget as we proceed with the year. Also, we had the sale of our bond anticipation notes last week. Total amount was $15,715,000. We received 3 bids, with the successful bid going to TD Securities. The coupon is 2%, but they're giving us a premium on that of $224,724, which gives our net interest cost of 0.566%. So we had excellent results on that. All the documents have been signed, provided to bond counsel, and they were submitted to the DTC today. They were due up there today, and we will be closing on that on Monday, at which time I will pay off the existing note. And these notes are for a period of 1 year. What else did I have to mention? Sorry. Linda Morgan, our tax collector, she's still waiting to receive the tax rate, so the tax bills have not yet gone out. I meant to check with her prior to coming in here. I apologize, I didn't get a chance to. But, so most likely, if we receive the tax rate late, the bills will go out late and the due date will be extended in accordance with statute. She has no plans of sending out estimated tax bills at this time. We are also making progress with the conversion of our tax and utility software. I want to thank Fred Verna, who has helped with the conversion. Edmonds came in last week for the preliminary information data pool session that they needed to gather. So we are still on target to be up and running by January 1st of next year, at which time we will be receiving online payments for those for tax and utility. And that's all I have for right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lee. Chief Wilson.
Another great day for the police department. Thank you, Commissioner Amadeo. And we had a great beach stock weekend, and then the July 4th, to dovetail on the Frank and Tony, we were extremely busy, and I think the departments working together make the events incredible. So thank you guys for that. And other than that, everything's good.
Good. Thank you, Chief. Scott, do you have anything to report?
Just a clarification on the wording of the resolution, 146 in 2015. I think it should say which item does exceed the proposal to provide that beach rate, but it's
Could you
through a
turn your
state
speaker
contract.
on, please?
Scott, put your speaker on.
I just was questioning, well, let me start at the beginning. I know we have 3 ordinances, which would be second reading, Mayor. This is a part of our process. The first one to streamline our ordinance system. The other 2, pretty self-explanatory, regulates dumpsters and pods, and also the parking issue on Nassau Avenue. With regard to Resolution 146-215, I think at the top there, we just want to say which item does exceed prevailing bid threshold, but because it's on a state contract, we're allowed to buy it this way without submitting the bid. You see it, Fred? We can clarify that later. Just make sure we have the wording right. That's all I have, Mayor.
All right. Thank you, Scott. John, you want to sit in for
Yes, Mayor, thank you.
construction official?
Yeah, Jim Galantino is off today and tomorrow and asked me to report on what's been happening in his department. Naturally, our code enforcement office has been very busy, and the long 2-year saga of 438 North Vendome Avenue, a residence which is on the bayfront on the far north end of Vendome, had been failing for several years and has finally now been demolished and removed under emergency act by both the commission and the building department, calling it a hazard to public safety. The job was complete, and Jim had worked very hard to get this to the point where we're at today to satisfy and help the neighbors who lived in that neighborhood, having to worry about that building falling either into the building next door or into the bay and causing havoc. He was able to work with the bank because the property was in foreclosure, and we notified the bank today, and they're going to issue total payment. The city was going to originally put a lien on it and receive the money at a later point through the bank, but now the bank has agreed to pay directly to the contractor, so the city has no more obligation to it, and it will be paid in full in the next week. So the property's been cleaned up. And, you know, Jim's and the entire staff there have been working extremely hard. It's been a very busy time. And as you see on our regular meeting today is the second reading of an ordinance which is going to allow the police department to regulate the permits for the dumpsters on the street, because we've received a lot of complaints from residents, and a lot of them are well received and understood. So because they sit on a public street, the chief has graciously agreed to take care of it and allow his department to oversee the permitting. So with second reading today and then a 20-day period, Chief, it becomes an ordinance, and it's your baby from this point on. Thank you for that. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Johanna?
We are working on the liquor licenses. They should be completed with the state within a week, and they will be delivered to the restaurants and the liquor stores in town. That's it.
All right, thank you. Roger?
Mayor, I've been working with Rich Deeney and Jim Rutala on the second phase of the post-Sandy planning grants, and the RFPs are almost ready for publication and for bids. The second phase will include 4 different studies, a revised master plan, an updated zoning ordinance, a sustainability study, and a CBD infrastructure study, and these will be ready sometime in the next several weeks for RFP, as I said, and that will be the beginning of a period during which the public will become involved in all phases of the studies, and we look forward to that. Otherwise, we're continue to be very busy, and that's about it.
Thank you, Roger. Maureen?
Business is good. We just ordered more tickets and more city ordinances, so we expect them tomorrow, and we're just, you know, it's the summertime and we're just busy, so I'm sure everybody knows that. Just be careful where you park.
Thank you, Maureen. John, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I want to comment with what Maureen said. For our residents, be cautious, because our parking ticket gentlemen are out there issuing tickets, and as Maureen just said, she had to order more tickets. That's how busy we are. So be cautious that you don't get stuck in that situation. If it's 15 minutes, these kids do an excellent job. They're summer part-time help, and the chief and the training they've received since they've been there, they're right on target. So just be cautious as residents.
Thank you, John. Maury?
Okay, I have three things, all along the lines of thank yous. And so my first thank you goes out to the MBA for the unbelievable job that they did setting up and organizing and orchestrating beach stock. It goes without saying that that's a lot of work. Thank you to all the departments that made the event a great success. Police, fire, public works, just an outstanding job by everybody involved. People love that event. They go and they have a good time. Thank you. Another thank you goes out to Frank and his public works team for getting the playgrounds mulched. The parents and the kids love that. It makes our playgrounds beautiful and safe. So thanks for getting that done. I know it wasn't an easy task. And my final congratulations goes out to new Commissioner Amadeo and the fire chief, along with the beach patrol chief and the entire beach patrol, for winning the first race of the season that we were involved in, and I think that that's going to be one of many, and the beach patrol really represents Margate well. So keep up the great work. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Roy. Two comments from me. Number one, Margate continues to get more good press. One of the Philadelphia major stations is in town today filming Margate, and I think they'll be here till, I think, 10 o'clock tonight. I think it's either Channel 3 or Channel 10. Is it 3? Isn't it? Do you know? 3? Channel 3. So you may want to watch that later or try and chase them down. Maybe you'll be on TV. One, carry on, when Frank first made his first comments, he talked about water. The fact that we had talked about a couple of weeks ago at the orientation kind of has stuck with me. I'd like to share that with you. This is a compliment to Margate's drinking water, not only in quality and taste, but also in price. It was brought to my attention that if I go out and I buy a case of bottled water for $3, which is a good price for a case of bottled water, right? It basically comes to $1 a gallon. If you drink 1,000 gallons, it's $1,000. Okay, so or you can drink Margate water, which is better regulated, better tasting, and that same $1,000 costs you $1.50. So just think of the difference in that. I've lived here a long time. It's never been brought to my attention, and I just told myself that I got to share that with you. So, having done that, we will open this up to public comment, 3 minutes on any of the subjects that were discussed here today.
Is your cup for Margate water?
You
made my day.
Sewell, 22 West Drive. Following up on Maureen's comment of ordering more tickets, I think it's rather important that not only residents be aware, but also visitors. And since this town depends upon those shoobies for the big bucks that the restaurants and hardware stores and other places generate as income, I think if you nail them too hard too often, you can kill the goose that lays the golden egg. So I think, you can temper some of that zeal to paper everybody, especially when we have 0 beach block parking, which has long since lost any relevance to rhyme or reason. But even another particular sore point is that perhaps Margate should show Longport how not to rip their citizens off and their visitors off. And then when they have to cop a plea before the judge, and it's the only plea on the table, it's cop that plea or get hit with a baseball bat, no other choice. And they have to cop that plea to careless driving, which is like a 300+ court cost deal. I say that careless driving ticket should not exceed the cost of the original violation. If it was failure to come to a full stop at a stop sign, $75, then $75 should be that amount, not $300 to avoid the points. Let us be a little more considerate both of the citizens of Margate and the visitors. We don't need a black Mariah with black printing on the side at the bottom of the Longport Bridge for those glorified meter maids in the next so-called town down the road. Thank you very much.
Very good.
Thank you, John.
Excuse me, Mayor.
Any other public comment?
Mayor, can I just address Mr. Sewell? What he's talking about is that unsafe driving, and there's a $250 mandatory surcharge when you take that amendment, so it's not at the judge's discretion to charge.
Perhaps that's something we should put as a resolution to encourage Trenton not to rip visitors and citizens off. It's something that should be considered for change. And thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Maureen. Any other public comment?
Cortilli, 114 North Lancaster Avenue. And while we're talking about tickets and all, I don't know if it's legitimate to talk about this, but in the last few weekends, it's been terrible parking. I mean, it's just a catastrophe, especially near the beach. And John mentioned about the beach block parking. Well, it looks like all the corners of Atlantic Avenue are booked up with cars on the weekends. So they're all extending beyond the legal area to park. And the reason they're doing that is because they can't park in the beach block. And if you go down to Ventnor, there's no signs, nothing. You can park in the beach block anytime, not after 5 or whatever magic number 5 is, I don't know, but not like after 5 or before 10 to park. It just sounds kind of crazy to put a sign up that there's no parking when you really need the parking. And then in the wintertime, when you don't need the parking, you take the signs down and now you can park. It sure looks like a punishment, like John was mentioning, to punish the visitors that we have, which is not a good idea. I look at it and I see the punishment really going to the senior citizens. A lot of them don't want to carry a big beach umbrella or beach chair or whatever to the beach along with a beach bag and have to walk even a block and a half. It's not easy for them, and you find a lot of seniors not using the beach anymore as they should. And most of Margate that are permanent residents are seniors. I think it's a shame to do that to them. If there was a way to possibly park in the beach block like Ventnor does completely, a simpler way, maybe just half, just on one side even, to pacify whoever doesn't want the parking. And naturally, everybody'd say, well, not on my side, how about the other side? But there's an easy thing to do. You put up a sign that says no parking July on one side, and no parking August on the other side. And this way, half the summer, you can park on one side, half on the other, and you only have half the block covered. You don't ever have both sides. And as a bare minimum, can you at least, if you didn't do anything, move the thing back, instead of 10 to 5, make it 10 to 4, at least give the seniors 2 hours worth of time that the lifeguards are on duty to be able to go to the beach. It would help them tremendously. Thank you.
Thank you, Art. Any other comment?
Leonard Grossman, 112 South Lancaster Avenue. I am a summer resident living on the beach block. I've been here for 30 years. I believe that we have good relations with all our neighbors here. We participate in the Memorial Day events. We also, like the fireworks and Beach Fest and all that stuff. We shop in the same stores. And I think last meeting it was mentioned that there's going to be a discussion of this beach block parking. And since it's a very interesting topic and a very important topic to the beach block residents, I'd like to respectfully request that any discussion of this nature be done when we're here, in the summer months. We only come here a couple months a year, and I think in all fairness, it would be something that we should, be able to discuss. And I hear that gentleman there, and I don't believe that that is a major issue, and I disagree with him. But I leave that up to the discussion when the discussion is going to take place.
Thank you, Rick. Anyone else?
Steve Warner, 103 North Sumner. I'm not going to weigh in on the beach block parking, but I think this was brought up before, maybe with possibly Warner Real, that, or he mentioned it during one of his campaigns, to possibly extend the hours of the beach patrol on like the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, to maybe 7 o'clock instead of 6 o'clock. Because a lot of people are still there, and really 6 o'clock, I mean, the beach has still got a lot. I think maybe on the weekends, another extra hour would be good for the residents and the visitors. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Steve.
Steve Altman, 9003 Amherst Avenue, Margate. I've been at this microphone since 2000, urging a change in beach block parking. And I've had the privilege of speaking to many of you about it privately. So you all know my views, that I believe at the beginning of Mayor Becker's first term, I outlined 7 different approaches to changing beach block parking, which I'd be glad to share with you at a future meeting if you'd like to hear them all again. But the simple truth is, just about every community that has a beach have some sort of beach block parking that's reasonable for both the local citizens and our summer guests, except for Margate. The history of how Margate came to have these restrictions goes back to Senator Farley, and the fact that he had a girlfriend, I believe, please correct me, Mr. Abbott, if I'm wrong, because Mr. Abbott is an expert on this, that Senator Farley had a girlfriend who lived on Cedar Grove, and she complained about the riffraff that parked on her street and prevailed upon the senator to get Margate's commission at that time to restrict parking. Then if you go through the legislative history of all these ordinances, they occurred one street at a time as people said, well, you did it for Frank's girlfriend, how about for us on our street? And so that's how Margate came to have this restrictive parking. No one that I know of, except people who live in the beach block, really want to have beach block parking of any type. It doesn't seem to be reasonable. But for us to be, by our ordinance, supporting something like a girlfriend's request, it seems to me to be very un-American and an insult to the entire community as a political thing and as a social thing. So I urge you 3 gentlemen, which I know you all 3 have been talking about this, to really consider how the merchants alone could benefit from having beach block parking, which would free up parking on Ventnor and on Atlantic Avenue in our business communities. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Steve Giesecke, 112 North Lancaster Avenue. I have a question on the planning board that's going to come up, the new planning, how it's going to work, and if we can have somebody from our Sustainable Margate team on board. There's a lot of changes. I've been here all my life, and we have a lot of changes, and you may not see it on the through streets, but on the cross streets you see it, where these spec homes are being built. That's my biggest concern. Across the street from me, they ripped down a nice, beautiful home, only to put 2 houses up. And this is happening all over, and they're looking alike. They have the same square box side with the same porches. And I'm afraid that eventually Margate is going to look like this, devoid of all the characteristics that make Margate unique. The most important factor in buying a house is based on what a community looks like. And we might lose that if we continue with this trend. Also, we have serious parking issues. When I went to protest against some of the zoning variances or the variances that they request, I'm concerned about the parking. They make parking, there's one house in particular on our street that you can't fit a driveway. You can't fit a car in the driveway. The driveway is not even 7 feet wide, yet it is supposed to be able to fit 3 cars. So where do they park? They park in front of their driveway, and they park all up and down the street. And these houses that have turned from 3 bedrooms to 5 bedrooms are creating much more of a party house, which on some of my weekends are just all night long, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. To give an example of the scope, where there was 3 bedrooms across the street from me, now there's 10, because they're 2 5-bedroom houses, not including the houses that have converted from 3 to 5 bedrooms around the corner from me and all up and down my street. So I was wondering how or if it's possible that we can have somebody on board to contribute information and to monitor how this process goes.
Once these studies begin, there will be public hearings, and everybody will be notified by newspaper articles, advertisements, and so forth. And it's open to all members of the public, sustainability or other organizations. I mean, we don't actually have a committee. The committee is the planning board. And the consultants prepare this and present it to the planning board. The planning board has public hearings. And it's all open to the public. There are books published, things will be online, and input will be sought.
You hire consultants?
The city puts out RFPs and selects consultants from those who bid, yes.
I don't know what that means.
Request proposals.
The professional city planners that come out?
Yes.
And offer things to
Yes.
you?
Oh, yeah.
Steve, everyone in the community will have an opportunity for input in this as we move forward.
I understand, Mayor, I just don't want to input too late.
During the process, not after the process.
Mayor. Steve, just for your information, it's mandated by law that every 10 years you have to revisit your master plan, and that process is open to the public. Were you a part of, it was almost 10 years ago?
Yeah,
About 8 years ago, we went through it. We're just fortunate this time around, as Roger reported in his report, that we're able, through this Sandy, what's it called? This
Post-Sandy planning.
Yeah, the post-Sandy planning grant, we're able to go back to the table and have a master plan redesigned and our ordinances and our zoning changes done without it really being Margate City taxpayers. We're going to receive money from both the federal government and the state government with that.
It's federal money given to us through the state agencies.
Yeah, it's federal money coming through the state agency, which normally we would have had to budget for a master plan study. So this is a grant that we're applying for, and there are several what they call city planners that'll put proposals forth, and then there'll be an interview process that the planning board will have a select committee that will do, you know, the interview process to select who they feel from their proposals would do the right thing for Margate. So it's a process that has to happen in every municipality every 10 years.
I'm aware of that, and, okay, well, thanks for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else? So motion to close public comment, please.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Thank you. We will reconvene